This exhibition is a traveling exhibition. It consists of 35 costumes that were featured in Downton Abbey. It also talks a little bit about that time in history from 1912 to the early 1920s, what people were wearing and how that shows the changing times.
We're really looking to capitalize on our own collections and tell local stories, but maybe from that larger perspective of either a national or an international story, like we have with the Downton Abbey exhibit.
The Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture and neighboring Campbell House are windows into a vibrant past, linking historical global themes with regional topics. Exhibits like Pompeii, the Immortal City, have been paired with local tales about the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens. More recently, the Campbell House has been presenting Spinning a Yarn, an exhibit of fashions and lifestyles of early Spokane. Meanwhile, the MAC has been featuring costumes from Downton Abbey.
This was a fun one because as soon as we got a signed contract, we jumped in and tried to start working with the Spokane Civic Theater on designing vignettes because this exhibition was just the costumes and the text panels, and so we wanted to make it come alive for our visitors. Jake Schaefer from the Civic Theater kind of compiled things into vignettes to make it a little bit more immersive. So the dining room table, for instance, was all his idea, and his team creating this dining scene. The kitchen scene, additionally, all the fake food and that sort of thing was from his team, which was lovely because that's not something that we have. So he made a really good effort to blend our collection with his props with the costumes. I don't think we've ever, to this degree, partnered with the Spokane Civic Theater, and so I was admittedly a little nervous at the beginning. We had a really tight turnaround, and to add a new voice to the table was a little scary, but it ended up being this amazing, amazing opportunity. For example, with the modernized fashions in the 1920s, with the really cool white flowy fabric and the different colors, he was playing with that, and I knew I would love it, but I had to wait to see it till the end, I guess. Because he's got impeccable design taste, but it's so different from mine that it's best to sit on it for a minute, I think. The globe is one of my favorite pieces that we got to bring out. It's a piece that was given to us by the Louis Davenport estate. If you look closely at the globe over there, you can see that someone has pointed at Spokane so many times that Spokane is basically obliterated from the globe. You can almost imagine people standing over and talking about their home and pointing at it and making it basically go away.
Spinning a Yarn was conceived as a companion for the Dressing the Abbey exhibit, and it really capitalizes on our largest collection item here at the museum, and that is the historic Campbell House where we're sitting right now. The Campbell House was built in 1898 by Amasa and Grace Campbell. Today, the Campbell House is restored back to essentially what would have been the house in about 1910 to kind of bring us back to life in the Campbell's era. A lot of the costumes are ones that may have been on display before, so we know just a little bit about them, but this exhibit dove in a little bit deeper to say, okay, well, we know where this came from, we know who it belonged to, but who was that, and what's the deeper story behind them? We do have stories here that are not just Spokane stories. We've got folks here in Spinning a Yarn that come from Wilbur or in Reardon, so there's a little bit broader reach throughout the inland Northwest that you'll encounter when you meet these characters. We
We also have a couple picture frames kind of scattered about almost like Easter eggs. There's one at the intro, and there's a couple more, and they feature portraits from the Campbell family. And there's no labels, it's just kind of a fun another little poke. So we've got a picture of Helen in a fine dress staring in a mirror in one scene. We've got a picture of the Campbell family trip to Egypt in another, and just kind of a fun another little poke to Ode to Campbell House.
I have fallen in love with these stories and these individuals. They are stories that, they're very personal. Each of the stories here that you'll encounter in the house are tiny snapshots from that individual's life. And in some way, I hope that we've been able to put some context around that to make people feel something.